there, boys and girls. My name is Princess Belle. You may know me from Beauty and the Beast. My friend Lindsay asked me to come here and read you all a story. If you'd like, I'll pick one out right now. Would that be all right? Good. Let's see what we have here. Oh, there's a lot to choose from. You know what? Just to start things off, why don't I just go ahead and read you my story about me and my prince. All right, so let's begin. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled, selfish, and unkind. One winter's night, an old beggar woman came to the castle and offered him a single rose in return for shelter from the bitter cold. Repulsed by her haggard appearance, the prince sneered at the gift and turned the old woman away. The woman warned him not to be deceived by appearances, for beauty is found within. And when he dismissed her again, the old woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a beautiful enchantress. The prince tried to apologize, but it was too late, for she had seen that there was no love in his heart. As punishment, the enchantress transformed the prince into a hideous beast. Then she placed a powerful spell upon the castle, and all who lived there. The rose she had offered him was an enchanted rose. It would bloom only until the prince was 21. If he could learn to love another and be loved for himself in return, before the last petal fell, then the spell would be broken. If not, he would remain a beast for all time. As the years passed, the beast fell into despair. He did not believe that anyone could ever love him. Slowly, the rose began to wither. As you can see in this picture, we have the beautiful enchantress and our young prince being turned into the beast. In a nearby village, there lived a young girl named Belle. She was very beautiful and a bit odd. She cared only for her books and always felt out of place. Her father, Maurice, was also a great reader, but while Belle read about adventure and romance, her father studied technical books. Maurice was an inventor, a genius according to Belle, a crackpot according to the townsfolk. That's not very nice, is it? Belle is even stranger than her father, the villagers whispered. Her nose is always in a book, and her head is in the clouds. Gaston, the most handsome man in town, wanted to make Belle his wife, but she always turned him down. She thought he was a slow-witted brute. See, we have Belle and her father. We have Belle and Gaston. She is not interested because she knows better to choose a better guy for her. One cold day, Maurice hitched his horse, Philippe, to a wagon and set off to show his latest invention at a fair on the other side of the woods. With his mind on the fair, Maurice got lost in the forest. An icy wind whistled through the trees, and he suddenly heard the howling of wolves. Spooked, Philippe bolted, and Maurice was thrown to the ground. To escape the wolves, the frightened man ran deeper and deeper into the woods. At last, Maurice came to a castle and stumbled inside. Then he was greeted by Mrs. Potts the teapot, Cogsworth the mantel clock, and Lumiere the candelabra. But before he had time to marvel over these strange creatures, an even stranger one appeared, the beast. Maurice stared at the beast in horror. The creature howled angry, then scooped Maurice up and carried him off to the dungeon. What's going to happen next? Meanwhile, Philippe had made his way back home. Belle saw the riderless horse and knew something had happened to her father. "Philippe, take me to him," she cried, leaping astride the exhausted horse. Philippe gathered his strength and thundered off into the woods. Oh, she looks so worried in here, doesn't she? Wouldn't you be worried if your mom or your dad went missing? Would you go and find them too? Let's continue with the story. When Belle reached the castle, she searched frantically for her father. The enchanted objects led her to the tower, but just as she found Maurice, the beast appeared. Belle let out a terrible gasp. Then, when she realized that he was Maurice's captor, Belle begged the beast to free her father. She bravely offered herself in Maurice's place, and the beast accepted. He led her to her room before Belle could even bid her father goodbye. She couldn't even say goodbye. "The castle is now your home," the beast said, gruffly. Belle was free to go anywhere she liked, except the West Wing. Look how terrifying the beast looks in this picture. Oh, she must have been so scared. That night, Belle slipped out of her room and found her way to the forbidden West Wing. She did what she wasn't supposed to. She discovered the beast's foul lair, but he was nowhere in sight. Belle was drawn to the enchanted rose she saw by the window, but when she reached out to touch it, the beast suddenly appeared in the window. Belle screamed and fled out of the room. That means she ran away. Well, wouldn't you be frightened too if he popped out of nowhere and started yelling at you? I would run. Belle ran out of the castle, mounted Philippe, and escaped into the night. But a pack of wolves soon had the girl and her horse surrounded. Belle was helpless. Suddenly the beast appeared. A terrible snarling and howling arose as the beast and the wolves battled for their lives. At last, the wolves ran off, leaving the beast badly injured. Oh, he was hurt trying to protect her. Belle knew she couldn't leave him there, so she brought the beast back to the castle and bound his wounds. She took care of him. Gentle as she was, the beast roared in agony. "I barely touched you," said Belle. Then she saw a look of pain on his face. "I forgot to thank you for saving my life," she added softly. The beast only grunted in reply, but her words touched him. In the days that followed, the beast tried to be a proper host. He showed Belle his library, where they read together, and she, in return, began to teach him how to act like a gentleman. "Perhaps it isn't too late," Cogsworth whispered to Mrs. Potts and her son Chip, the teacup. "If Belle can only love the beast, this dreadful spell may yet be broken." Look, it's them in the library. The library is so huge. Imagine reading all those books. The winter passed pleasantly for Belle and the beast. Belle thought of him as her dearest friend. He dreamt of little but the beautiful Belle. One night, while Belle was showing him how to dance, the beast stammered, "Belle, are you happy here with me?" "Yes," said Belle, but the beast saw a trace of sadness in her eyes. Then Belle added, "If only I could see my father again, even for a minute." "You can," the beast said, handing her a magic mirror. Belle gazed into it with wonder. She saw Maurice trudging through the forest. He looked frail and old, even as she watched her father collapsed in a heap. "I must go to him," Belle cried. "He may be dying." "I release you," the beast said sadly, "but take the mirror. Then you will always have a way to look back and remember me." Wasn't that sweet? He gave her a chance to go and see her father. He knew that's where she belonged, even if it wasn't with him. With the magic mirror to guide her, Belle soon found her father and brought him back to their cottage. But their happy reunion was cut short by a pounding on the door. "We've come to take Maurice to Maison des Lunes," announced Monsieur d'Arc, director of the village insane asylum. "No," Belle cried. "My father isn't crazy." Gaston's friend, Le Fou, stepped forward. "Maurice has been raving that you were imprisoned by a hideous beast," he said. "Only a crazy man would tell such a tale." "But it's true," Belle protested. She searched the angry crowd and saw Gaston. "Gaston," she cried, "you know my father isn't crazy. Tell them." Gaston told her that he might be able to calm the crowd if Belle would promise to marry him. Ooh. Did Gaston do this on purpose? Let's find out. "Never!" Belle exclaimed. "And my father is not crazy. There is a beast, and I can prove it. Look in the mirror and see." The crowd looked at the beast's reflection and grew frightened. Gaston was furious at Belle's refusal. He must hunt down this savage animal, he cried, stirring up the mob. "Who's with me?" "We are," answered the villagers. They locked Belle and her father in the cellar of their cottage and rode off to storm the beast's castle. Luckily, Chip, Mrs. Potts' son, had stowed away in Belle's saddlebag. He used Maurice's latest invention to release Belle and their father from the cellar. Will they be able to make it in time? What do you guys think? Do you think? Let's see. By the time Belle reached the castle, Gaston and the beast were in a mortal duel on the castle roof. The beast managed to knock Gaston's weapon from his hand, and there was nothing to stop him from killing Gaston. Nothing but the beast's own humanity. Gaston screamed for mercy. The beast granted it and turned away from his foe. At once, the ungrateful Gaston rose up and plunged a knife into the beast's back. The beast stopped the fight, but Gaston hurt him instead. That wasn't very nice, was it? The beast roared in pain, frightening Gaston, who lost his footing and fell off the roof into the fog below, never to be seen again. Belle flew to the beast's side. "You came back," the beast said weakly. "At least I got to see you one last time." "No," Belle said, sobbing as she kissed him. "Please don't die. I love you." At that instant, the spell was broken. In a shower of enchanted rain, the beast became a handsome prince. Even the enchanted servants returned to their human forms. The castle came alive with rejoicing as the young prince gathered Belle into his arms. Mrs. Potts, Cogsworth, and Lumiere had not one doubt that the loving couple would live happily ever after. Look, it's me and my prince living happily ever after. Let me tell you a secret, guys. We did. Until next time, this has been Belle's Story Time, and I hope to see you lovely children again. Have a good day. Have a